start, just go ahead. Good morning, everybody. As Tara said, it has been nice. So I like to give a disclaimer before I start. This is my first presentation on ESOPs. And this is my first presentation, I can say. It's on I have never done the reels kind of it. And they all said, yes, you should be doing the reels, and that's the best way of doing. I am sure a lot more to learn on those. I am very, I can say, a person who's very old thoughts and still trying to catch up with all the social media and other things. So I have started with that first time. So these are two things which I'm doing first time. And I'm not the person who actually goes on more on a markets. If you ask me, market is how, I don't know how all the stocks are doing. I don't know, because most of us, the good thing is Anil Rego, who is a CEO and founder, he himself takes care. He's a fund manager. We do have a research team and analyst team who helps us. So why I took this topic? So let me tell you the reasoning why I took it. This topic is, of course, I will start with the story of mine and Anil itself. How that time when we were we started our IT, I can say, work at 94 onwards, as Tara was telling. So coincidentally, we both were in Wipro. I was in a Wipro Technologies on the normal programming, account management, project manager kind of it. And then going into across the globe, working quite a lot, have a good exposure, good learning. And Anil was in finance side. And that times, most of the time, I'm saying the best part of for this work is in IT. I always say world is small, and IT and finance work is much, much more smaller. So we know. So that time people used to say, okay, Wipro makes a lot of CEOs and Infosys make a lot of millionaires. That was a talk in 94 to 2000 odd. So we all are privileged. I always says it's a God grace. We all were very privileged to have ESOPs. Okay, so ESOPs used to come quite a lot of things. We started in 98. Of course, we were quite junior that time. So 98 onward, we started getting the ESOPs. And till 2007, there was no FBT. So I can say that indirectly, if I have exercised my ESOPs and kept it for 1 year, because long term there was zero tax and there is no FBT, so that money is for me. It's a tax-free kind of thing. So that's what I feel all our batchmates and everybody got. This has been done good. So it's not that salary was good or bad. Of course, salaries are always good. But we all made a lot of money through ESOPs. And the reason I took it is because as an employee, we both made a lot of money. As a customer and a wealth manager, I can see how and all the stories I'm going to take a live story today, 3. All of customers I am handling 1:1. Of course, Right Horizon, we do quite a lot of customers, but I have taken because I know in and out of them for last 20 years. So I'm talking about those 3 stories apart from me and my Anil's story on ESOPs. And third way, what I'm trying to put my knowledge into this part is, as a Right Horizon director, we have issued the ESOPs last year. So of course, that was the second set of ESOPs issued. How as an employer we do it? So I'm trying to do this session is in a 3 levels. One, as a recipient, as an employee when we got it and how we made a wealth. Second is as a wealth manager, how we have been doing and all our customers has made the wealth. And third is an employer, how employer looks and do it across. So these are the 3 levels of my knowledge I'm going to give it. Of course, whatever triggers and everything which comes. So if you ask me how that trigger has come and when you have given the triggers, why we have given, those details I won't know, because that has always comes from our research team and the analyst team, and the analysts oversees all of them. So that's I can see why this thing I have taken today. It's talking about ESOPs. So most of the time when we have an ESOPs, I'm going to talk about, as I told you, because first time we both got it is 98. So 98 till now, and our customers from 2003 onwards. So what option to choose? This is becoming a biggest thing. And Few example I'm going to give it because last few days we are been doing lot more tax filing and above 50 lakhs. You can, I'm sure you are aware of that we always have to give the all the details what you are holding as on today on a national, international, any level at all. So we are been trying to take care of how to give the cost details, and this in case if you are filing a tax, so please be aware of when you write a cost, it is what cost you have actually got it as an ESOPs. That's one thing so you have to give when you have taken as an RSU or ESPP or ESOPs or whatever it is, how to take care of it. So that's a different details, and that's a slowly I will try to do that part also, the how you take care on a taxation side and how you take care when you're declaring nowadays being in a tax filing season also. Okay, so which option to choose? This is becoming a common thing. So when we do a financial planning or wealth planning or whatever, first question when we ask ESOPs people, they says that I don't know what I should do with an ESOPs. Okay, most of the time, which is one of my learning always is, uh, people normally comes and tell us that okay, I have quit, and or if I'm not even quit and I am having it, I know being an internal part of it, I know how the company is doing and we should sell or we should buy. Of course, there are a lot of insider trading you have to manage and take care of those. But I'm trying to say, they said that I know my company more than you. So that is the one thing which I keep telling people. See, I don't know about your company anyway, but we always see as a research how the overall the market is been expecting and how the thing goes. So they go on a technical charts and all. So the difference is most of the time we take it on logical, and sometimes lot many, I don't want to specify the company name, but lot many employee always says they become very emotional, and that's one of the reason we have always made sure around 20 to 25% of an ESOPs we tell them to keep it for long, because people say that's a very emotional and that's why they have got the money. So how to utilize for my financial goal, that's one thing. People try sometime investing into real estate, that is another option. Somebody recently came back to me around 2.5 year back, and we are all are the same batchmate of Infosys batch. I'm talking about 2003. And somebody, of course, that time was 1 crore was a big amount. So around when we all got it, and somebody says, "Oh, Rachna, I have invested in a real estate, and now I have 5 real estate. I don't know how to make sure that to consolidate." And that has not grown as much as the financial asset. So sometimes, of course, the choice is very, very specific. And I keep saying, whoever is choosing, you should be aware of what consequence comes. So it's nothing called right or wrong. Yes, I chose real estate. It must have not grown as financial asset, but I'm happy because it's always given as to me a loyalty or an additional money than what my salary is. How to hold till what need I should hold. Is it I should give it to my next generation? Is it I can reduce my liability? A lot of time people have taken, okay, my ESOPs, can I reduce the home loans and other things? That is, of course, you can do the analysis. So invest into the different avenue and diversify. So it's a combination of all. Sometime it may happen that I make it everything in a some percentage and try to do it depending on what age you are in or what risk profile you are in. And these are the things which is a common questions which comes, and on and off I'm going to speak on these topic. So benefit for a lot. I'm assuming most of the people who are joining, either they are the part of means they own ESOPs, or they may wanted to learn more on ESOPs. Those two people. So I am just doing a benefit for somebody who is just learning and they don't know what is an ESOPs. Is option or an employee stock option means right, but not an obligation given to an employee, which gives such an employee right to purchase or subscribe a future date. The shares offered by the company directly or indirectly at predefined prices. So this is, I'm talking about listed. Nowadays, you will get a lot of ESOPs for non-listed also. Okay. ESOPs is one of the most important tool to attract, encourage, and retain employees. So you will surprised to know we have lot many customers where because our age, everybody have seen our parents not having so luxury. So, and we all have good salaries. So we have saved a lot of money and we have a lot of ESOPs. So they are able to retire. So quotes unquote retirement means they wanted around 2.5 lakhs of month. I have a portfolio of 8 lakhs, 7 lakhs, 7 crores and all. And then rest of the money, they says what to do. Now I wanted to come out from the corporate life and try to do something. And many of our customers we were trying to help, and they are being a director of a lot of startups to give their knowledge, make them much more. So what happened? The people who are been retiring at the maybe salary between 1 to 5 CR, and a startup cannot afford it. So what they do most of the time is they give them on a retainer that I will come when I required, or you come only 2 hours or 1 hour or one day, and they give a part of an ESOPs to them. Okay, that is one new trend's been happening quite a lot, and this is what even our customers and we have seen quite a lot to retain that employee. Or when you are saying that, okay, when I make a big guy, you will also do it, but as of today, I'm not giving a salary. So, a lot of startups you must have seen people are not able to match your salary, but they are able to give as a part of a compensation and that increase equity over the time. So why company gives ESOPs? That's a things which I can tell you from Right Horizons perspective, because this exercise we have done 5 years back. We have done the first level that time and the second level. So a lot of time there are a lot more regulatory comes. There is a lot of things come. So the first things why we thought of doing this, because we felt when we have grown and we have got the ESOPs as a wealth creation, so we should pass it on to the next generation or being in a Right Horizons, because we both have got those money, and that's the way Right Horizon, I can say the investment. That time there was no VC fund, 2003 kind of it. So we have to put the money from our side, and most of the money has come from ESOPs. So it's a attract, reward, motivate, and retain employees. And that's another thing which I felt most of the time, even including me till now. Somebody says, okay, why don't you feel you are the owner or the things? And I says, no, I am not the owner of this company or the things that I'm happy to work 18 hours or 24 hours, but I'm getting a salary because you wanted to be entrepreneur. There is a lot of things you have to go as a risk. You are looking as a long term, you're looking as a vision, which I feel I may not be a person who takes much risk at all. And I'm the person who's doer, who looks at a very short term more than a long term kind of it. So most of the time, I always feel it is good to look both the angles. And as a employer, when we are giving as a companies, we says that everybody cannot start the company, but they can still help us, and they are being a partner in the company and they grow. And that's one of the reason we give the people who are loyal, they the people who are the key roles they have it. These are the two things, and the places where we see that they are think they and the company is the same. So most of the places, if you noticed, the ESOPs are given on key management people, you can say CXOs and others, or the people when they close the milestones, like in ours we have it, the people who finish 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, we have one of them, irrespective of what are the designations. Who are in a management, you have it, you are the key critical role, we have those. So those are the people normally we try to say, because company also is growing along with them. So they also grow, so it's a vice versa. Enhance the job satisfaction. So they know the ownership quite a lot. If I do good, company do good, and I also create a wealth. Deferred compensation strategy, of course, it is deferred because you get it in a long term. So that is the best part of it, how we can have got it. I'm sure last 8, 10 years, I have seen quite a lot. These are coming quite a lot. And of course, most of the three example whom I'm saying, I'm using them for a retirement benefit because none of us are going to be like, my dad was in army, so I keep teasing, used to tease him quite a lot that your pension comes more than what your salary is. But none of us is so, I think so, getting a pension. So how you create those wealth that you create the inflation linked on an average. I That's another thing I keep telling. It's not the you have money or not have money. in our mind, we are still a middle class, and I don't think so. Okay, we can spend 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs for just for a purse or a dress or whatever it is. So I keep saying in my mind, I'm still as a middle class, irrespective of whatever you have earned money. So whoever I have seen and done the retirement planning for the people, normally they also takes between 2 to 2.5 lakhs a month. Alumni alignment to the employee interest for the long-term goals for the company. That's of course is one of the best part of an ESOPs. So the benefit of the ESOPs in an employee is they create a wealth through the ownership. They grow professionally as a tangible. They improve the job security and satisfaction, because that's another thing a lot of have. It exceed the regular remuneration. I can tell you, I remember that when we were there, our salaries were around 2.8 to 3.5 lakhs. I'm talking about 96, 95 के And when you see the amount, the ESOP's value will be in a crore. So I still remember sometimes in the cafeteria, the topic will be, okay, your ESOPs is around a crore or 2 crore, what you will do, which car you will buy, or something like that. This used to be happening quite a lot. And 2 crores in a, I'm talking about 2000, 2001, where it's like a tax-free kind of it. How you create an it, that's a regular, quite a high value amount, which we will ourselves has never thought of. And those time we used to get the power of 10 rupees. Now all those has split bonus and all, if continued, it must be multi-billionaire kind of it, I could say. So it derives a direct benefit from acquisition and the strategic investment. So quite a good benefits on an employee side. Of course, what I always tell to our kids, to customers, to the employee, why we all got it or whoever gets it is because we were staying so long. So we have got it after 4 years, 5 years, and those plans also goes for next 4, 5 years. Somebody, but now I see most of the people they quit only within few years. When I take even interviews and I say, oh, 10 years experience with the 8 years, 8 different companies, which is very, very difficult sometimes to me to digest. I remember first time when I quit Wipro, it was 8 years. And when I went and asked my dad that I'm planning to quit, and he says that for me, it's only one company. I'm doing 35 years and you are taking 8 years is too much and all. And I'm just trying to compare. Of course, those are different era by itself. Now one people staying with the 8 year itself, it's sometime is different. But of course, again, we are quite lucky in Right Horizons. Our average, I can say, employee is staying is coming around 8.5 year plus, and quite a lot of them have crossed 15 years. We are 20 years old, and around 9 of them are already crossed 15 plus. So it's one of the good things for us. But yes, there are changes as the era goes. So how the benefit to the employer, I have already been just now been speaking, minimizing the attrition, freedom for channelizing the funds. Sometimes, as I told you, we may not be able to pay the salary of 1 crore, 2 crore or something. So we make them as an ESOPs as a part of it. How to make sure that they give an excellent performance. Loyalty is always one of the things which I always believe it goes quite high. So these are the benefits from the both the sides, and that is a long term, and that's where the benefit comes. Even it is a, I always say it's a money tree or power of compounding or anything. It is because people stay long. So how does the ESOPs work? So this is ESOPs, I'm trying to say from an employer side perspective, uh, and how overall levels for you. So I remember when I joined Infosys, I was lucky there. They were saying because they were closed. That was the last lot what I have got it. So it is like the company will have the ESOP schemes, like we have ESOP scheme of Right Horizon 2017, 2020, and 24. So we have a 3 different schemes. So your valuation, your number of stocks, and whatever you can say. Now it is not yet listed, so we will always is the stock price level. So it's always done by the third party. So when let us, I'll give example on Wipro and Infosys because that's where I have got both of them. And I'm going to give the real example that schemes are there. So it was 2003. So board get approval and then they grant the options. So they have granted, for example, let us say, I don't remember exactly, it is like a 1600 or 3000 odd stocks in 2003. That they will say that when you can actually vest. So I remember in Wipro, it was like a 10, 20, 30, 40. So after 1 year, you can have 10% of the stock. After 2 years, you will have a 20% of the stock. Then 30% in the third year, and the fourth year is 40. So that's the way it goes. Some of them, they have a 25, 25, 25. So depending on each and every company's, your vesting periods is different. And then you will exercise. So you, of course, you will have, if you are one of those who have the ESOPs, I'm sure in your internal portal, they will say how many you have granted and what is the vesting and how much is exercise options. You will be able to say that these exercise options are coming. And of course, now there is a lot of difference because you have to pay FBT on spot. And we were, again, I can say, privileged till 2007, there were no FBT. So we didn't have that FBT we have to pay. Okay. So now you have to take care of that when you are exercising on an option. So stage of ESOPs is, as I told, this is the similar one with the different way. I am trying to say that exercise here, it is grant I have gotten, let us say 2003, and then vesting period. So if I have got a 3000 and I'm able to exercise, let us say 3, 4, 5, 6, 2006, I must have able to get all 100%, I can take it. Otherwise 10, 10, 10, 10% I can do. So they will give me a minimum period that within a 2 years or 3 years, you are supposed to exercise. So if I'm able to do in that vesting period, I will be able to do the exercise. It means that it has come from the company's stock option to my personal demat account. That date is very important. Please try to understand this is the date which you should keep the data. Now, the new rule on IT is that they can have the last 10 years, they can ask for any data. Okay. So these data, you should keep it more carefully for the whenever you are exercising for the 10 years, because this data may come. That exercise data will become your actually purchase date when you are selling it. Okay. So please keep it the exercise date and exercise price. Why it will be coming as a purchase for you? Because as of today now, that when you are buying, you are paying an FBT on that time. Okay. For us, we didn't have an FBT. So we used to, what is they have given a grant price, that was the purchase price for us. But even though I'm giving example of ours, but I'm going to give it as on today. For that, you have to be careful on exercise date and an exercise price. So valuation of your ESOPs, these are the different how the period of the ESOPs goes. As I was trying to say, these are very different for each and every company and each and every person. So for example, they are giving issues of ESOPs twice in a year. So they will say what is the period before your vesting. Okay. Then they will try to say what is a vesting period. So I'll give you example. One very recent customer told me that I am quitting XYZ company, but I have only 1.5 year Rachna to exercise. So my vesting period is because I'm quitting that company. Otherwise, it will be longer. So I'm quitting. So they normally gives 12 months to 18 months. So within 12 months to 18 months, we have to analyze, is it if I put an FBT now and move it across, how to pay the FBT and put it across. Because what is indirectly happening when you are moving out from the company and putting across, you are trying to take your all the ESOPs option to your demat account. Okay, that's a time maximum given to you. So I was speaking to another one person and I said, you have enough. Why the hell you wanted to do? He's telling, I'm fed up, Rachna. I wanted to start my own or being doing what I love. So I said, okay, your portfolio is good enough. You are able to have it. You do it. But he says, you know that ESOPs is for me is like a golden handcuff. I said, why, why? So he says, because they have given me like this, every 1 year, I will be getting 1 to 2 crores. So every time I'll think, okay, let me work for 1 more year and I get 1 or 2 more crores. And that is the another way I always felt sometimes it's nice and sometimes it's a decision we have to take because they give sometimes so huge value when you are in such a senior position. And then you're not, even if you have enough, but you're not able to exit because of that 1 year time period sometimes. Exercise period, of course, you have been got a grant and the grant is telling like if, for example, you can take 10% after 1 year. Okay. So that exercise period is done. So in 10, 1 year is over after the grant, I'm able to take care of 10%. Then after 1 year, I can take 20%. That is the part of it. Then ESOP pool is the reserve, which is the purpose. It is done for the fundraise, and that is, of course, it is talking about the employer perspective. What are the different types of ESOPs? Okay, I am going to take again example of ourselves and the customers. Nowadays, really recently has come quite a lot. ESOPs was always a very common option when we were there, and I still feel it is quite a lot. RSUs, when we were in Wipro, a lot of customers are having an RSUs. ESPP is the another one which I have seen all the international people quite a lot because they said it is a participation. So you pay some percentage of your salary as a stock option, and they give some discount, mostly around 15 to 20% discount on the price value. Okay, so these are the three major part which is being doing across. This is new things which I have not, at least I in my customer list, or I can say I have not experienced. These three I have experienced and I have been handling it. Give it the benefit of the stock ownership without giving you the stock. That is, I think so. Fidelity and another people, they do it. They will say that, okay, I'm keeping you this money as a reserve. So I will give it. So there is no stock actually movement or anything happens. So when you do it, they cut the tax and they give you money back. Wealth creation with ESOPs, of course, I started with saying the same thing that first of all, whenever we get an ESOP, so you should really feel very privileged and get that employer feel you are in a key position. Employer feel you are adding value to the company. Employer still feel that you are the core part or a pillar of it. So I always feel you pat your back that you are in that position and able to create a value to the company and yourself. So investment option, value creation, exercise period, and ESOP versus cash. That's another point which we will try to take care of. So this question somebody asked me, Rachna, you have been a person who speak. I think so. We started Right to Horizons with the right in Bangalore, and we were the first generation of entrepreneurs. So we started with Wipro itself. So Anil was also in Wipro, and of course we were also have a lot of ESOP. So most of the time we have customers on IT side or a Bangalore. A lot of it is can be TCH, SCL, Tech Mahindra, you can name it. So all these people, most of our customers are in Bangalore based or IT based, have a lot of. So recently we have started seeing the ESOPs from Flipkart, Amazon, Google, quite a lot of customers we have it. But I'm saying a lot of time people say why I should do when I'm getting a good. So I keep telling people it's not necessary what I'm trying to do it. I may give more returns that what if you continue the things. Coincidentally, today, first time before this, because those customers are the customized report and I have sent recently and I'm helping them in the tax filing. So I know those numbers very clearly and I was typing. Coincidentally, I was realizing that diversification, of course, has given much, much bigger number, but sometimes it has gone different also. It's not necessary that every time diversification has done because if single stock, that stock has gone very good. So to me, as a person, I'm not a person who takes more risk. So I always tell ESOP's money more than anything is like a putting all eggs in a one basket. And that's where we try to say how you diversify the risk. That is very important. Then you're creating a wealth. Of course, you have got ESOPs. I'm assuming that company is doing good and you will make If it is not a 15% return, you may make it 12% returns, but I'm trying to say you will make a returns. But risk is very, very important. And second thing is where we do this is a emotional. I have many, many examples in IBM and other places where the customers has quit and told Rachna, no, you just make sure, because I know internally that CEO is changed, this is changed, that is changed, policy is changed, so much culture is changing, they are going to go down and all. And no, it was not IBM. Actually, it is IBM was other way around. We said that to sell it, and they said, no, I know it is doing good. And that $179, it went to 118. And then they said, okay, I will sell. So sometimes it's not necessary if you're working inside and of course, that long term it may do good. So most of the time we try to do on technicals, we don't know internal of any companies. Okay. So that's the one thing you have to realize. When we are telling, we are not even emotional. As a holder of ESOPs, you are very emotional that, okay, I'm working for this team and I am getting this company and this company is making me to do better. So I should hold on. So of course, we also say that because it is emotional, any of the ESOPs people, we trigger stops at 25%. So last 25% we always say is to continue. So please try to understand how you can diversify as reducing the risk more than returns. It has come more, it's a good grade or whatever we have done and it's been performing good. But so many times it happened, it has gone back also because everything's required the time. So I'll give you another example. I had a customers in 2015 or 16 time, and that time to get the ESOPs, and they didn't have a money, so they took the SBI loan. And SBI is supposed to actually write it that if the Wipro went below 230, they will trigger it from the customer that they will sell it off. And SBI also didn't triggered at 230 and the stock price went very low. And they says that now you have to pay us that much of money because we have given loan than what the price is. And I still remember we have to sell the portfolio or we have to take a loan to pay back the SBI and take the whatever loans or the stocks limit. So that's another so many times happens because I always says if you don't have money, don't actually take a loan or don't take the part of it when you're paying the FPT. That's a please ask somebody to do the analysis when you are taking a loan for ESOPs kind of. So that is a part which I'm trying to focus here is diversifying the risk is the biggest part for us. Then of course you may get a maximized return 90% or 80% of the time because of diversification you will get not necessarily always 100% time you exercise save the fringe benefit tax. That's another thing. And the resistance label is what we try to give. So it's we give it in a different labels. So how we can try to do averaging. This is what the how the stock performs and the different rates you can see the returns over the period. And these are the places where I have seen in India and Apple is the sorry. This is the global side part. So these are the three examples I'm going to do. I think so the number is wrong. It is real example number one. This is the HCL technology. The customer has come to us in 2020. You can see he was having that time around 2 CR and his portfolio versus his HCL itself was like HCL was like 80% of his portfolio. And when they came across, and again, I'm telling you, the customer was saying, Rachna, I have quit and I know the management has changed quite a lot and I know it is going to do. I feel it is better we exit it out fully. So most of the time when I see, and because they have quit and come, and that may be the one of the reason they're quitting. So they always says you exit everything and then we will invest. And I still, of course, the God graces, our retention of the customers is also very high. So we give it to the board. Our retention of the customer is 95% and above. So here we said it, no, we will continue in HCA because we said we don't want as of today the money to pay out. We will do it over the period. And this customer actually still, if he has continued, first of all, he asked us to sell all and then invest. But I'm saying as an option, if he must have continued also till date, they must have got it 17%. But we try to triggered based, and he's still holding around 28%. His portfolio plus 28% of HCL is around 5.7 crores, which is 27% was in XIR. So what was the things when we gave it to him? We are trying to say he came around 900, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it's a 900 rate came across, but he has seen it has gone to 700 and all, and he was little scared that it may go back. So this is what when we gave him the I can say diversifying was an approach in 2020 when we gave it across. The triggers we gives like this. So he started coming and we says, okay, how you can sell it at, he came at 900. So we said it at 25% at 1000, next 10% at 1100 and 1650. So that's the way we took, and it is almost taken, still, of course, is there 4 years. The other customers to trigger to achieve. So sometimes you will surprise to know it has gone to 1400 and gone back to 900. But we still waited for him to come back to again 1500 and do that. So the patience and the trigger matching, it takes time. And that's where the key is all about in a ESOP part of it. So second example was in a Wipro, this person, of course, very close to our heart and very senior person was going through the medical issue, and they have said, this is the money I wanted to give. And that person spouse is not so well part of in a finance. So she says, that's not for me. It's FD is okay. So please, because my husband worked in this company so much and they have given the stocks. So I wanted that to keep it as safe as this. So I said, okay, we'll continue as Wipro. He says, no, because I wanted to convert into regular income. And why don't you sell and put it in FDs? And that was her thought. Ki, I don't wanted to do it. And when she came with us, it was again 231 was the Wipro rate. And again, we told the same thing that we will match it. You don't worry. We will try to do with a trigger based. Now, apart from this money and normal, we are giving as a regular payment to her because the husband is no more now. And I'm saying as per customer recommendation, and he was telling that whatever she's telling, I want her to be comfortable. So you go ahead. But he being a finance person, he says, okay, whatever Anil says, we will go ahead. So Anil was very clear that no, we will not sell. We will do it only on a trigger based. So you can see that her portfolio, what we have done a trigger based is 22% versus what the client was looking for. And third is the another customer whom we know. It's like for me, it's all customers are a friend or a friends are customers. So it's a vice versa. So we know this person also for last 22 years. And he was working in another company. Google took over in 2016, I think so. And then suddenly he got what was a company where he was working, his ESOPs has got converted into the Google because Google took over. And Google that time rate was $38. And I'm just giving example, that time it will be 4 CR. And then that person again, this we took 8 years, still holding 35% because they said, okay, my kids will go to the US and then they can use that dollar to dollar instead of that. And we are keeping for a longer run for the retirement. If he has continued the Google, he must have got it 48%. Now he is putting with us with the recommendation, it is 78%. Of course, it is a good value around 20 crore to 25 crore at 1 minute. That's what is, I'm not sure why the next slide, it's something is not seeing, but it is, that's what it's all about. So, these are the things, what are tax? So we have to understand the tax are 2 times when in the time of exercise you are paying FPT and the time of sale. Okay, that's another point you have to take care. So there is a detail, but it's like this: when you are exercising, I'm just giving example. You have given a grant at 230 rupees. So when you're exercising the 230 into the current price at FBT, you will pay. So if FBT is, you have taken purchase today at 500, and when you're selling it as 700, then you pay again a short-term or a long-term tax between 700 and the 500. So this is the how the treatment of listed shares goes. Unlisted always added to the income or the merchant bankers detailing, but listed shares is always taken care by the FBT price will become a purchase price, and the sale price will take care of the sale minus your purchase price, which is the FBT purchase price, not your grant price. Tax on shares, I have just now spoke the same thing. RSUs are the only one things your FBT comes very high because it is on a par value. So if somebody has given at, let us say Wipro again at the par value of 2 rupees and you got 1,000 stocks, so you are been giving at the 2 rupees, but now it is 530. So I'm assuming when FBT time you must have taken care. So FBT on the RSUs are very high. Then afterward it is doesn't come across the most. Short-term, long-term gains are always as an equity. So if it is a short term, it is always 15%. If it is a long term, it is always at a 10%. The things which I have learned as a person, as the customers, as the director, most of the time that ESOPs people add to the emotional. And when I say that you do this, is say no, because this is linked to me, I have done. So sometimes I always says it's nothing wrong. And when I also will keep it. So 25% you keep it for the emotional value because that's what they have gained. The all the three examples what I have told you, even though customer was wanted to give because they felt it after exiting, it will not do good, but the technical. So it took 4 years, even 8 years, and even still the triggers, two of them has not yet come. So please wait and have patience. That's another thing I have seen. It has gone from 900 HCL to 1650, came back to 1000 again, and again now it is in 1580 odd. Okay, so we are still waiting for 1650 again. So I'm saying it is okay to have a patience. Try to do it. ESOP's value of your portfolio should not go more than 25% of the total portfolio. That's the one thing you have to realize when you have to diversify. Selling the investments for payment of FBT is another one thing I have noticed. It's okay. So, for example, you know that as per technicals or something, it may go down or market may go down. You wait from that time and then take the FBT part of it. Non-phase on entry and exit. That's another things I have noticed because they have seen suddenly the past that it has gone so low and they will exit all, or they wanted to be safe, then say okay, I'll put it in. And I am not even added that part of it. Then we diversified and grown means the tax is already paid. But if they have continued to their own stock, so they yet to pay the stock, even though the I can say the returns was too good. The compliance and insider, please take care. That's a very important part of it, because if you are in a key part, you cannot trade, and you should actually inform your whoever is a wealth manager or a broker or yourself, because that is being the key. So please try to take care of a compliance, very important part of it. Second thing is other things, a lot of time people don't pay the tax. So when it comes to the tax filing time, then suddenly there's such a huge tax comes and they said, oh, now from where I got it. So I always says when you are having a money, you got it. It's always good to pay advance tax then and there. So you will not have an issue when when you're doing a tax file. ESOP money allocation should or must should be goal based. All the three you must have realized it. I have related link to the retirement, kids education in US, or I have taken care for the venture they wanted to start. So not only me, for you also, because this money is for the goal or for inheritance. Please try to link instead of just giving as a one part. This is just an example what how we normally send an ESOP alerts whenever our customers are been telling as a part of our financial planning that they have an ESOPs, that how are the fundamental of that. This is the Wipro ESOPs alert where we are trying to say how the fundamentals are, what is the valuation of that company, relatives strengthen. These all are done by research, is not by me. I'm just showing as an example part of it. How this charts on a Wipro overall looks like. What is our advice where we are trying to say that what are the triggers at first price, second price, and third price. With this, I close and I'm happy to take questions. Somebody, yeah, Jairaj, you have a question?
Madam, I have requested for a one-to-one because
Okay.
it's very specific.
Yes, so I'm happy. I think so. Tara will send it my email ID and the mobile, or otherwise, when you have linked it, you must be getting the mail. I'll be happy to help. So,
Okay.
yes, Sushant, please let us know. You have also raised the hand.
Yeah, hi,
Hi.
Rachna ji, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so my question is, I do get ESOPs from, so I work in a multinational and I do get ESOPs for from the parent company,
Okay.
not the local company.
Okay.
And the the vesting period is 3 years. So when the first time this happened, they sold off about 35% of the value of the shares to accommodate for tax. So there are two questions that I have, or two parts to my question. One, the tax rate in India is of course not that much, which is 35. It's only 15 and 10 for short and long term. So this is already 35%. So will that is something I will claim back when I file ITR? Second, now if I was given 100 shares, 35 are already sold off. So I have say 65. So when I sell these 65, do I have to again pay the tax?
Yeah, I think so. You have answered yourself because I'll give you example. Even it's a Google, it's a Cognizant, it can be Amazon. Quite a lot of people who are having the stocks from their parent. So what most of the company, when I have a customer on Fidelity, also it's like that. So most of the time, people they because this is the child company for them, so they actually give the money in your form 16 as a net of tax. They don't give a stock to you. So there are two things in US based company I have noticed. One is if you have the demat account in US and then they transfer it, it works the same way as in India, and there also long term is 20%. When you move into the Indian, it's a INR and whatever transfer things. But most of the company, I'm telling you, they don't transfer the demat to your foreign account. They will give you when you exercise net of tax added to the form 16. So if you have a specific, I'll be happy to answer you, Shushan. But now they have cut the tax at 35. Now they will, when you are doing the exercise again 65%, they will cut it again.
Okay. Okay, maybe if possible, we can discuss specifics one-on-one.
Yeah. So I'll just go through the questions in my webinar chat. So I think so. Yeah, Manoj, can you ask a question? Shweta has asked, US and India has a foreign trade agreement in a stock company. Does that mean to exempt tax paying from this? It's a very good question. The double taxation, it is supposed to be taken care of. So you have to handle it both. But I can tell you, I am handling one of the customer whom I have written here, Google. The double taxation, they didn't accept it here. So he got a notice and we are being filed 3 times to Supreme Court that notice is wrong. So sometimes if the notice comes because the value was too huge for him, So double taxation we claimed it, but IT has not done. The case is still on. So sometimes, of course, as a legal point of view, we are allowed to take care of that part. So I have, that's all a question. So any other person who's, there is no other hands up other than Jairaj, I think. So he asked a 1:1. So with this, I like to, yes, tell that have a one, if you all have ESOPs, it's a wonderful, you are being privileged, you have been doing good, and that's the way you create the wealth. And last 30 years, me and Anil have seen many people, us, including we both, and including a lot of customers, try to reduce the risk and create wealth. It's the best way to create. Happy to help. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.